Preste, preste, preste.
All right, Eli. So can we talk about what happened in the second moto?
So second moto, obviously went into the pits with a front brake mechanical, and ended up 18th or something after cutting the brake line. And once the team took the bike back and we really looked into it, I ended up getting a rock roosted on that master cylinder, and it dented the inside of the I don't know what you call it, where that piston slides in and out of. So that's why my front brake locked up. So kind of crazy. I think I've had 2 different brake problems, within this year so far. But the first one's still kind of a mystery as well. So at least this one we were able to diagnose it and find the real issue, and it was just a racing incident where a rock hit the master cylinder. So craziness, but I guess that's just motocross.
Yeah. So you're getting pretty good at riding around without a front brake.
Yeah,
I think you're almost a lap down on the first. You came in on the second lap, or your first lap, and they literally lapped you while they were going by.
Yeah, that sucked to be in that position. To be right on the second lap of the leaders. Luckily, I was able to get going and at least get 2 points out of the whole deal. So that's all I could do.
Yeah, and does that affect your confidence with anything as far as the bike? It's just kind of one of those things.
No, not at all. Because it would have been, something if we couldn't find or if we wouldn't have found a real cause to it. But it got, the master cylinder was dented by a rock. So it's like winning the lottery in a bad way.
Yeah.
Of what happened.
Yep. And so we know everyone likes to call this your home race, but you're like what, 5-6 hours away from here?
Yeah, I was able to drive up, so 6.5 hour drive, not too bad.
Okay, I mean that's like Anaheim to Phoenix, so it's not really too close for you.
It's not close. Colorado's a big state. We're way at the southwest corner of it, but good thing is that still elevation up here. I'm used to the slower bikes. Everyone else will be crying about them, and I won't be. So,
right on. So, how much time do you actually get at this place?
I would only ever do Loretta Lynn's qualifiers up here for the most part, just because we were so far away. So it's not a local track for me, but still have the feel of the thin air.
Yeah, we had a rough weekend last week. First, I guess I could straighten out some of the things that were going around. I guess it was not a new part in our engine. It was not a problem with a supplier or anything like that. Basically, our problem was due to just a new motor this year. We're always pushing things right to the edge. And that was probably one of the first times that we saw, deep, long loads on the engine, and it uncovered some issues.
So was there any reason why it happened last week versus the week before that you guys can pinpoint?
it's something we've tried to figure out all week, and I think generally going back, looking at the data, it has to do with just the constant load on the engine. You know, you have the Talladega turn sweeper there at Glen Helen, and you have the big long hills, uphills and stuff. And at Hangtown, there was a lot more chop, bump, and they're on and off gas more, and basically, I think it has to do a little bit with that and a little bit with a few other things, some tolerances that we're a little close on.
So what did you guys do this week to adjust for this week?
We looked at all the parts. We talked to some of our suppliers, and we made a few adjustments to some of our spec. Didn't detune the engine at all, so we hope to get some hole shots this weekend and be up on top.
So can you say which part it was?
I don't want to say exactly because it was a few parts just not working well with each other.
Okay.
It's kind of the name of the game, and when you get into the tracks where they're super deep and have those really, you know, tough uphills to get up, it's just hard on the bikes. And yeah, we had some problems, but you know, I said it all weekend. I'm like, hey, I'm just thankful that nobody had it happen on a jump. We just all kind of had it happen on flat land, and that's something to be thankful for. These guys are going to get it handled right away.
Yeah. So Forkner's and Savatgy's mechanicals, when their bike stopped, we got it on TV. What was the situation for you?
So pretty much when I had mine, I came up the big hill and the big St. Helens, what do they call that? And as I shot back down, it just gave out, and I just kind of coasted down the hill, like I didn't have a whole lot to worry about. There was, you know, a quarter mile to the next jump, so that was a good window for it to happen for me. And we have the second moto, it didn't actually go, so that was something to be thankful for. I thought it was gonna, but it held out. So
your bike you got 12. Obviously, it finished. It was alright. Did it run okay? Was it?
No, it was kind of doing the same thing that the first one did before it went, but it held out. They did a couple things to try to save it and get it through, which was good because, you know, obviously it's not a very fun deal to have it go on you, especially because it's just so you never know when. Yeah.
So what does that do with your confidence while you're riding out there? Not really knowing when it's gonna kick, is it gonna die?
Yeah,
or what?
when it's going on for sure. Yeah, it's something, you know, you just have to kind of nurse it. And I got through, and I'm standing here, I'm healthy, so I'm grateful. Now I have no, you know, less confidence in them now. You know, I'm positive they're going to be just fine. Like I even was talking to my dad, and I'm like, I would lay money we don't have another one this weekend. You know, so yeah. I'm glad that, like I'm saying, that everybody's healthy from it, and now we can just move on and have fast bikes again and try to be out front.
Cool. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think coming out of the California rounds, Hangtown and Glen Helen, probably my least favorite tracks on the circuit. You know, no offense to those places. You know, a lot of people like those tracks, but I'm just not a big fan being from the East Coast, being a Florida guy. So to get out of there, second points, not having really too many great races, going 2.8 at Hangtown and then 7.3 at Glen Helen. It wasn't the best, but you know, to be in this position going into Colorado, one of my favorite tracks, and then back east, I think we're in a good spot.
Cool. Can you kind of just talk about this track a little bit?
Here?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, I love Colorado. Obviously, the bike slows down a little bit. We got Joey off here trying to distract me. It's working right now. But anyway, yeah, the bike slows down a little bit, but I've always been a big fan of this track, especially in the morning when you go out there like first or second practice, and it's still loamy, and it's one of those things where they it's one of those things where they till it up super deep, and then a lot of the times they don't even touch it for the rest of the day, so you get super deep ruts, and you kind of end up going a little bit wider in the corners after a while. But Colorado is one of my favorite tracks, and you know, even if I'm one of the bigger guys now, it doesn't bother me. First gear will be all right.
Yeah, last weekend was a little unfortunate. You know, I'm sure as you guys know, we had a few mechanicals, which is rare. You know, I've been here for 3 years, and I think I've seen a total of 2 maybe since I've been on the team. And you know, it's not like Mitch and the guys over here to have those types of problems. So it's unfortunate. But, you know, it's a long series, 20 more motos, a lot of points up for grabs. So we just got to try and make the most of it. You know, it's one of those deals you can't change it, so we'll move on from it and try to be better.
Yeah, so you were running in good in the first moto, though.
Yeah, no, first moto was good. We made a lot of improvements during the week. We tested at Paula and felt like we struggled a lot at Hangtown. A little bit of me and, you know, a little bit of bike. No excuses, but I think we bounced back in the first moto at Glen Helen, and I felt good. You know, we rode pretty good and put ourselves in a good position. It would have been nice to do the same for the second moto, but didn't get the best of starts, and Glen Helen's kind of gnarly. So, you know, we were working our way up. I think we were up to 7th or 6th, and would have been good enough for 3rd overall. But, you know, we had our problems, so is what it is. We'll move on and forget about it.
Yeah. And so was the bike cutting out before it died, before the sand section? What, did it just happen all of a sudden? What was it like?
It was getting slower. I didn't really put 2 and 2 together until probably 2 laps before it quit. The single table all the way in the back, right after where McAdoo crashed going up the hill. The first couple laps I was able to downside that thing, and by the last lap or 2 I was barely getting on top of it. So it was pretty noticeable at that point that it was getting slower. But, you know, it was making a few noises coming down the hills, but nothing crazy. So I thought, you know, we'd probably be able to just make it through. You know, looking back on it, it's frustrating that we lost or we gave away that many points. But, you know, health is priority. And with Glen Helen being so high speed and big jumps, for it to cut out where it did it's a blessing in disguise, you know. Kind of hard to be mad when you walk away with your health. It definitely sucks, like I said, when you lose the points, but it very easily could have gone much worse, and the bike could have cut out on a high-speed section. So, you know, we're lucky there, and like I said, we'll bounce back.
So you've had a rough couple first 2 rounds, 2 4 motos, your bike's blown up. Kind of just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of sucked when, like, it was like the first like half a lap at Hangtown. I was just going, and then my bike just started sputtering really bad and like trying to cut out. So I just had to jump off the side of the track, and I tried to just ride it. Like, I was getting past. I was probably top 10 whenever it started kind of messing up, and then just had to. I was trying to just keep riding it, see if it would clean out, and it didn't. So I just like had to cut the track to go to the mechanics area because I just wanted to get there as quick as I could. And they started working on it, and I don't know what it was. They just started unplugging stuff and plugging stuff back in, and then it finally started running right. And then I went to pull on the track, but the AMA officials stopped me and made me wait until everybody, like all the guys went by, even like some of the guys that were down. I had to wait until they came by because I cut the track to get to the mechanics area. So that kind of sucked, but I came back to 11th, and the second moto I got 2nd, so that was good. And last week, first moto, just something happened in the bike, like halfway. I was just starting to feel pretty good, and then I don't know what happened, but something happened to the bike, and you know, oh well, it is what it is. And then second moto, I rode okay. I didn't really feel that great on the track, and I don't know. I had a pretty big crash earlier in the week on Tuesday, and I didn't ride at all from Tuesday to Saturday. And I didn't really feel that great on the track. Like, I just wasn't the fastest guy, and I got a little bit tired. But yeah, it's a new track this weekend, so hopefully it'll be better.
But you were battling with Jerry Martin at the end. He wasn't able to get by you. You must have got pretty good at that.
Yeah. I guess he went. I knew he got the whole shot. I had to start after the first moto. I had to start like almost the far outside gate. And I knew he got the whole shot, and then I didn't see him after that. And I guess I watched it back, and I guess he went down. Yeah, but he caught me, and with like 2 laps to go, and I wasn't really riding that great. But like as soon as he caught me, I kind of like picked it up and started riding a little bit better. So if I could have rode like I did the last couple laps, it probably would have been a better race. But I guess I needed somebody to push me to go a little bit faster. But yeah, the last 2 laps I rode good, holding him off. But you know, some other guys had. Glen Helen was kind of crazy. A lot of guys had problems, so you know, it was all right.